Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Marriage Be Hard podcast. I am Melissa, and Kevin is not with us here today. Y'all send the good vibes. By the time this come out, we may have an answer, but in the event that we don't, send up all the good vibes. He's doing some stuff in the traditional Hollywood space today, and he needs good energy so he could, do the things. I probably sound real not Christian, talking about vibes and energy. Send the prayers, okay? Talk to Jesus.
Yes.
That's who I know. Talk to gold, because that's who I know. That's who I believe answers the prayers, and send them on down. Send them on down. Lord, let the Holy Ghost. I think I switched songs, but that's okay. Today we have two very special guests that we have never had on the Marriage Be Hard podcast, and that is none other than my sister and brother-in-law, Melanie and Gregory Goolsby.
Hello.
Hey, hey.
Boom, boom,
They
boom.
are authors. They
Amen.
are podcast hosts.
We are.
They are merchandise wearers and designers. Show it.
Hello.
Yes, Underrep, available right now. What's the name of the website?
Underrepmerch.com.
There we go. Underrepmerch.com. They are parents. They are husband and wife. They are brothers and sisters to other people, not themselves.
Hello.
They are all the things. Okay, so everybody give a very warm welcome to the Goolsby family.
Do you have a clapping track?
Yes. Well, no, I have real life claps. Please make sure you clap in the mic. There we
Clap
go.
for
There we go.
yourself.
There we go. In my lap is their beautiful youngest daughter, my pumpkin pie, Miss Micaiah Avery, who is sick.
Ava. Wrong.
She fine
Who's
right now.
Avery?
She
McKinley.
was
McKinley Avery. It is Micaiah
It's
Ava.
because their names are so similar.
Listen, it's because the second batch of kids.
Yes. See, here you go.
It's just my brain. It'd be
Here
a
you
lot.
go.
It'd be a lot. She doesn't want to say hi. She's been sick, and so she's kind of she want to go now. She want to go to you. It's because I said her name, I think. She's been sick, and so this chair here is for Kevin in spirit, but also for Micaiah in the
Yes.
event she wants to sit down, because she just wants to be in the mix. They had her on the couch back there, and she was just
She
like,
didn't cooperate.
yeah,
Nope.
not y'all being up there and I'm back here. That's not going to work. Okay, so we're going to get started. If you are new here, Marriage Be Hard is a podcast where we bring on some of our favorite couples and some couples that will eventually become our favorites because it's the first time we've met them. But of course, we know these people. And we talk about marriage. We talked about the highs. We talk about the lows. And sometimes we talk about other stuff. It don't matter. Wherever the conversation goes is where it goes. So we're going to start with, you probably have heard this in some way, shape, or form on many other podcasts, but this is the podcast where you're going to hear it all together. So start with your love story. How did you meet? Your dating, you guys always have the best stories. Your dating history, and then fast forward to the engagement, and then I do want to spend a little time on the wedding, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
Well, I'll start
'Kay.
because I saw Mel before she saw me. You feel me? I was the maintenance man at an apartment complex in Atlanta, Georgia. I was doing my regular routines, and I saw this young lady walk across the street. It was a gray dress. It was tight, right?
It was not tight. It was a gray dress.
Oh, it was tight.
It was not tight. I had tights on.
Yeah, tight.
It was a gray flowy dress. Yes.
Either
It
way.
was like a baby doll dress. It like went right.
Oh, I see.
Either way, I was like, man, I like that. I wonder what, but she stayed there, and, I ain't want no problems. So I didn't pursue anything. Also, I was working, and she walked in the building, and I don't think I saw her again for another year and a half, maybe.
Oh, really?
Because I think this was happening right before summer, and then you left.
It's literally not the truth.
You left.
left
Yeah,
for summer.
You and Tiara had a renter in your space because I was like, oh, they moved out, but y'all had a renter.
Oh.
And then the next year, that's when I saw you changing, where you asked me you was trying to get your oil changed. Correct? Is that not correct?
I don't think it's correct, but okay.
Wait. So you saw Mel in passing the first time.
In passing. She didn't see me. I saw her off in the distance.
And then you didn't see her for a while.
I didn't see her for a while.
Okay. And then by the time you saw her again, it was like, oh, she is still living here.
Yes.
Okay.
That's where I...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I believe. And then you can tell the rest because that's what...
Okay, and then You might be right, actually. That time for you said a year and a half. That just seems wrong.
Okay,
because
when
I only
school
lived
year.
at that apartment for 2 years.
Was it 2 years?
Yeah.
Oh, we got it in quick then.
No, so I only lived at that apartment for 2 years. So you met me in the last 6 months that I lived there. That's not true.
Okay, well, let's not say a
So, and
month, and not let's say a year and a half. It was
Some time.
some time passed
Yeah.
before I saw it again.
Okay.
All right.
I would say maybe 6 months.
Okay.
Because the summer, what he is saying is correct. But I met him at the beginning of the next school year, which is in the fall. So
Okay.
summer happened, and then the next school year came. And the only reason why I know this part is because it was warmer in Atlanta, and my vehicle, my car, something was wrong with it. And Daddy said, I called Dad, and he said, ask the maintenance man, because I didn't
Oh, that was
know.
Dad's idea?
Yeah, to ask the maintenance man
Shout out to Mr. Marsh.
to help. And so I see him, who I'm like, I've never met the maintenance man prior to this. I don't know. Actually, see, this
Well,
is...
what was you maintaining, Greg?
No.
How come they didn't know who you was?
Actually, but hold on.
That's a sign of a good maintenance man when you don't see
I
him.
see, because
No,
you keeping the
that's-
building
Oh,
together.
yeah.
Okay.
And actually, that's wrong. What happened, what happened, this is why we don't tell this story, because we be having all the facts confused. What happened is something actually did happen in the apartment. When we got back, because old girl stayed there for the summer, we got back and the dish disposal wasn't working. And it was my roommate's friend that we had agreed to let stay. And I'm like, your little friend broke the stuff.
Yeah.
And we had just gotten back for the school year. So I called the maintenance man but I didn't know, I still hadn't known who he was. Okay, God. So anyway, I make the order. And it just so happened like that day or the day before, something around that time, Tiara and I were on the elevator, and we were on with Greg, and he, as y'all know, I will tell this all the time. Anytime you're on the elevator with Greg, he's going to speak.
Yeah.
So we're on the elevator. It's a bunch of students. We're all quiet. And Greg gets on and says, hey, how y'all doing? Or how y'all doing, Miss Lady? Or whatever he said in his very Southern accent. And me and Tiara were like, oh my gosh, his accent. We lived on the second floor, and we got off, and we like giggled all the way to our apartment like, oh, that must be the maintenance man. So then, again,
Daddy.
the dish disposal is broken. We call the maintenance man. He doesn't come, or he eventually comes. We exchange numbers. Daddy, the car is messed up. He hadn't called me. It was all these things happened like right after each other. Eventually, he has my number. He hasn't called me. I was interning at TBS, and I don't remember if I saw you or what. But anyway, I left a note. That's what happened.
A work order came in about the dish disposal.
And he
and
hadn't
on top
called me.
of the dish disposal was a note saying you
Yes.
haven't called me just in case you lost my number.
Wait.
Yes.
Hold on.
Yes.
So the service order comes through, but that's through
Work. Yeah.
So how does the note?
I left a note.
She left a
because
note
I
for
had
me.
But
given-
left a note where?
in
On
my,
the
in
counter.
my house.
Got it.
Because he had to come fix the dish disposal,
it.
and he hadn't called me after we had. I see. That's why I'd be getting the story confused, because we had an interaction. I think that was the car interaction. I had given him my phone number. And that's when I just want to be your friend. I don't want to be your
Greg
man.
was lying.
So I
Look.
gave him my phone number, and he didn't call me. By the time the dish disposal, I leave a note because I'm like, oh, I gave you my number. I don't understand why you haven't called me. Like, what's wrong with you? If I give you my number, I don't understand what happened. So I left my phone number on the paper.
Like in case you lost it.
Your phone is broke or something. And then I went to go to my internship, and then he texted me.
She couldn't stop
That is
thinking
the-
about you, boy. That's what it was.
No, I had just never given my phone number out and never been contacted. Like, that was weird. Like, why would you not? If you asked for
It
my
was
number,
so clearly apparent. I gave you my
I
number.
don't-
You called me.
it's disrespectful.
So
Call.
that link was broken. Why?
Why?
Yeah.
I was offended. I may
I-
not like you, but also don't be disrespectful and not call me after I give you my phone number. I could have said no.
Forgot her name, and
Uh,
I was like, I don't know which number is hers in my phone. So when she left that note, I was like, oh, there we go.
that
And
is
I'm
so
in her
funny.
apartment
Yes, he
texting
was.
her like, "Hey, what's that?"
In the apartment.
Yeah, in the
That's so
apartment.
funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys kick it off, start dating,
Mm-hmm.
and then fast forward to the engagement.
Engagement. So this was 5 years later. So we've moved.
Greg, you waited a long time.
Yeah, he did.
Well, she was in college and she wasn't even sure where she was going to go after college. So I was
If
like,
you were gonna stay in Atlanta?
Yeah.
Because you was trying to stay in Atlanta.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
where I was going to be at.
Yeah.
And she wasn't sure, right? You weren't sure where you going to be at because I know it was New York, D.C., and
I don't think I ever considered DC, but I mean, I needed a job, so
Yeah.
the answer was wherever I got a job.
yeah. So I was like, that wasn't my main
I was like, that wasn't the
situation.
reason. Though.
But I was scared. I wasn't ready
Yeah.
to be. Plus, I don't know, what was I, 24, 25? Somewhere along there. Anyway, we moved from that apartment complex to 2 other apartment complexes. Well, Mel did. I was still there. And then we finally moved in with each other, and we bought a condo
Yep.
by Centennial Olympic Park.
Mm-hmm.
And this condo, when on the 4th of July, they do a real big celebration. You get on the roof and you can look over the park and it's just fireworks.
Yeah.
So that's when I proposed on 4th of July.
On 4th of July,
Yeah,
over the
on the
fireworks.
roof.
How did he do, Mel?
He did well. We had looked at ring shopped for a while, and I really liked the ring that I have. So we had decided the ring, but it just was a matter of when. So yeah, it was he did good. It was nice.
You was nervous, Greg?
Oh, yeah. I was real
The
nervous.
entire complex, or like condo, the residents of the building were all upstairs because of the fireworks. So then everybody's like, oh, because it's
Yeah.
like, oh, he's proposing, and the fireworks are going. So it was really sweet. It was good.
Who all was there?
Nick was there.
Nick was there.
Okay.
Nick came and the kids, and Greg's parents were there. Both of your brothers, I think, were there. And then a bunch of residents in a building.
Aww.
We don't know
Look,
anymore.
we were so close. The fireworks were like landing on us.
Oh.
They were exploding.
Because the
and
building was
people-
so high?
Yeah, and it's so close to the park. But yeah, it was cool.
It was cool.
Yeah.
And yes, I was nervous. Yeah, and the price tag for that ring at that time.
No,
yeah.
even today, they be expensive.
It
Yeah.
do be expensive.
Okay, and then you guys fast forward. How long did you guys wait between there and the wedding?
It was a year.
It was a
He
year.
proposed July 4th, 13, and then we got married September 6th, 14.
Okay,
So a little over a year.
Yeah. Okay, and then take us through your wedding. Actually, before we go through your wedding day, we're gonna pause right here and hear a word from our sponsors. Hey, look at me doing it in real time.
I was
Hey.
like, oh.
Do I know what that is? Nope. It don't matter. Okay, thank you so much for our sponsor. Okay, now tell us about your wedding day.
The wedding day was very stressful for me because it started. Well, I ain't never been married before, and everything was just. It wasn't hectic. It was just hot outside, and we were taking
It was
pictures.
humid, yeah.
It was
And
humid.
you was sweating, and it was hectic and exciting at the same time because I had my partners there
Yeah.
that I've been on since the 3rd grade
Yeah.
as my groomsmen, my brothers, and just seeing everybody dressed up. But when it started raining, that's when I started panicking.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking Mel was gonna be pissed off that it was raining.
Yeah.
So in my head, I'm like, man, my wife, she gonna be pissed off. And if I feel like she's mad, I'ma just be mad
Right.
just off
Off
GP.
the strength.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm walking around with this mug on my face, and Mel's just like, it's okay. We can just do it on the inside. And I'm like, I'm going crazy. And you can take it from there. How were you feeling?
Yeah, so the venue, I really liked the venue, particularly because of
Tell the people the venue.
outside. The venue, I don't remember the name of the venue.
Okay.
Georgian Club.
Georgian Club.
I want to say the George.
Something like that.
Cobb Galleria.
I don't even know if it's still there anymore. I don't know, child. But it was in Atlanta.
Yeah.
For
I think
sure.
it is by Cobb Galleria, right?
It is. Yeah.
George
I think it is the Georgian Club, something
George,
like that.
yeah.
But I really liked the venue because it had this outside space that I just really, really liked, and it had this clock, and so every hour on the hour it would ding. And so we were starting at 6 o'clock in the evening. I knew I wanted like going into the evening. So knew I wanted a evening wedding, and I knew I wanted the ding. So I was really excited about that. But I had also been tracking the weather and knew that there was a chance of rain, and it was literally starting at 6 o'clock. So I had been preparing my mind for the fact that I may not be able to have what I picked this venue for. And then of course at 5:50, 10 minutes before, it started raining. And so the wedding planner.
No, I was about to say, did I not just tell you?
So the wedding planner I loved her. She was amazing. And she just was kind of, this is what it is. We can wait it out or we can bring it inside. And I think we waited for a little while, but it was like very clearly like pour, and it wasn't like drizzling.
Yeah.
It was pouring, raining. And I know Atlanta and the summer thunderstorm. So it was like, you don't know how long it's going to last. And I was excited to just like get to the day and get to the party. And so I was like, okay, let's just bring it in. Like it wasn't that stressful for me. It was like, okay, we'll just do it inside. Who cares? So they flipped the room. And Kev, of course, was our officiant. And he did his speech that I love to reference to this day, which is, what do you do when it rains on your wedding day? You get married anyway. And that's what we did.
That's what you did.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you got a job at Netflix. It must be
It's like a year and a half.
It was
later,
only
right?
a year and a half later?
Because McKinley was born
Yeah.
the 6th.
We got, well, no, it
14.
was 2 years.
I mean, 2014, 2016 is McKinley was born. So
Yeah.
she
It was
had
2
the
years.
job before McKinley.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, but you're talking about Netflix.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Netflix.
Netflix was 2 years.
2 years? Oh,
Yeah.
my time.
But still, hold on, I'm having a revelation
Slightly.
right now.
Slightly less. Okay.
Yeah. But the thing is, I'm realizing you guys have spent majority of your married life in LA.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I didn't realize that.
Oh, yeah.
For some reason, I thought you guys were married for like 5 years before you moved
No.
out here, which, of course, the math doesn't math when you actually think about it.
Yeah.
But in my mind, you guys had spent majority of your time married there.
No.
And then you moved here. So you guys were married 2 years
We
minus.
spent our second wedding anniversary in LA.
Because you moved in July.
Because we moved in July.
You got to
And then had
always
McKinley in August. And
reference
then
McKinley's
2 year was
age.
September.
So McKinley, how old is Isaiah?
She-
7. So she's 7.
Yep.
So you guys have essentially been here for like 5 years. I mean, no, 7 years because I don't know how to do math. You guys have been
Yes.
married for 9.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what I did was I took the 2 and subtracted it from 7
yeah,
to get
no.
the 5, but the math don't match.
9
you
years
understand?
total.
Yep.
So
7
9
years
years
here.
So 7 years. Dang, that's crazy than mug. Hold on, I have another question. How do you feel like being away from your family has affected you in being married here?
I don't think it's fair to my parents, especially my mama.
Yeah,
She raised 3 boys.
yeah.
So now she gets her granddaughters, and right when she gets her granddaughters,
Yes.
we move away.
Yeah.
I don't like it at all.
Oh.
Yeah. And now that they're getting up older in age, I would like to be around because every weekend we were in Atlanta, we would go to my parents' house or her dad's house
Yeah.
and just kick it with them. And I mean, that was fine with me.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So
You're like, are you a mama's boy or a parent's boy?
I don't know if I'm a mama's boy
Uh-huh.
because I don't do I do anything and everything my mama asks me to do, but she don't ask me to do much.
Yeah.
But I
That's why
wouldn't-
God gave you girls.
probably. I don't consider myself a mama's boy because she doesn't dictate anything.
Yeah, yeah.
I
yeah.
agree. You're
I
not a
do.
traditional, like the way that people think about mama's boy. You're not.
Yeah, yeah.
You're definitely. I mean,
But
he
if she
loves mama for
calls,
sure.
if she calls, it's ASAP. Ain't no question about what's about to happen.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Period.
my mama. Yeah.
Okay, so that's so interesting. Do you feel like now? Why do I have every situation? I mean, my phone is just a buzz. Do you? One of the things that Kevin and I say all the time that I'm just wondering if it's true for you is one of the best decisions we actually made for our marriage was moving away from home. Do you feel like that?
No.
Oh, hello. Why? Because you lost your parents as your support for the girls?
I mean, all my support is in Georgia. I didn't. We moved here. I remember I was telling me, I was like, "There's nowhere in the world I ever move from Georgia for any reason."
Yeah.
Period. But with the opportunity that she had, I didn't want her to resent me for not moving.
Right.
So we moved. Also, you all were here.
Right.
I don't know if we would have moved here if you all weren't here.
Yeah.
And even at that time, we weren't moving here because Melissa and Kev.
Yeah.
Because at that time, KevOnStage Studios wasn't as
even a
big
thing.
as,
Yeah.
as
We all
it
had
was.
jobs.
Yeah, we all
that's real,
were working.
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 100% true.
Because I was riding with Kev to All Deaf to build sets. And
Yeah,
stuff.
that's right.
So man, that ride was terrible.
Oh, yeah, to
every
Culver
morning.
City?
Yeah. So
Oh no, you were probably downtown by that time. Were you still at
it was
Culver City
no,
or
no.
downtown?
It was downtown.
Downtown. Figueroa.
Yep. Something 12 something. But no, I wasn't. Oh man, this is great.
Yeah.
I'm leaving everybody I know for whatever. And doing the work that I did as like maintenance work and facilities, I had so many connections with everything.
Right.
So if I needed anything, if I needed a job or I needed to just get around, I knew who to call, I knew the places to go, I knew the people to talk to. Now it ain't like that.
Yeah.
So it wasn't, no, it was not like, man, this is the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Okay, so now in retrospect, how do you feel about moving here in terms of like both of your professional careers that are like in no way mirroring what you came out here for? Like you just said, low-key, none of us are doing what we're doing.
Right,
but like,
right.
I'll start with Mel, since Greg just talked. Makai, you gave that to me?
Yes.
You gave that cough to me?
Pass it on.
How do you feel about like what you're doing now? And for you, it's actually very, very recent in comparison to like working at Netflix, doing the 9 to 5, like being in development, all of those things.
It is still very, very challenging to reconcile, to like understand what the heck I'm doing every day. Because the thing about my position at Netflix was that it also had changed, right? When I came out to California,
That's right.
and started working at Netflix to do changed about 2 years into that job. And so that was a very new endeavor as well. And like, so trying to understand, okay, is this now what I'm going to do with my career is be in development and be a creative exec? And what does that mean? And do I want to continue that? So that was already very new. And I was trying to like find my footing in that, and then to lose that and now be again going into this new space has just been, it's hard to understand and know what's next. The thing about this entrepreneurial world is that some of the things that I expect to come or some of the things I hope to come are things I can't even articulate or I don't know
yet,
you know? And so when you know, you think about, well, what's your 5-year plan or what's your 10-year plan? It's like, girl, I hope something comes that allows me to figure out what that plan is.
Because it's kind of unfolding.
Yeah, so it's hard to know what's the goal. The goal is to continue doing what I'm doing that will lead to something so amazing that my future will be secured.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And that is like unsettling.
For sure.
To like be in that space, especially coming from the 9 to 5 world where that, you know, the plan.
Right.
Like it's laid out for you. You don't have to figure it out. So all of that is challenging. But the other thing is I am enjoying the process for sure. I do feel like I am trying to find my footing, but enjoying some of that process. I also obviously have you guys. I was thinking about this the other day because I was watching the Kardashians.
Oh, I watched it last night.
And I was thinking about there is Kylie Jenner being the first or youngest billionaire or whatever she got to.
Yeah, I felt like that had an asterisk by it, but that's
well,
fine.
and so that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That is my point, right? Like you're not able to say that Kylie Jenner is whatever billionaire she was at whatever age she was without Kim Kardashian.
Absolutely,
you know?
100%.
And so all of that, I'm not Kylie Jenner. I'm not a billionaire. Amen. But
And
I
we're
don't.
not Kim.
Right. But I don't get to be in this space without you guys doing what you did. You know what I'm saying? And being who you are and like doing and so all of that is like I'm getting to find my footing, but it's because you guys made a sex tape first.
Good luck finding it.
Ooh.
Good luck.
Yeah, boy, that'll be.
This is gonna be on Lipstick Alley.
Boy,
That's gonna be
somebody's
on Lipstick
gonna
Alley.
cut that out.
Yes. Yep, that's
Melissa
it.
and Kill
Yeah.
out here doing the do. Hey,
Greg, how about you?
you gotta ask me the question again.
Like how I mean, obviously you come out here for Netflix. Mel's now no longer doing that. You come out here, I'm sure, and you did do traditional maintenance things that were kind of aligned in the career that you were doing before.
Yep.
Actually, you had to level up as
Yep.
well in what you were doing. And now you're not doing none of that.
I ain't doing none of that.
So like, how do you feel about that?
So, moving out here, I'm going back to, was it the best decision of my life? No, but it did. Did help me. It was a great. It's a great experience because it's opened my eyes to a whole lot of more, a variety of ways of making money,
Right.
And seeing other people making money, and I mean from any and everything,
Right.
So that's a plus. Also, moving out here helped me pull from a lot of resources to become better.
Yeah.
Because in Georgia, I was doing the maintenance, and then I
Right.
came out here and became a facility manager, and that was
Over
a
buildings.
over buildings.
And a very prestigious, well, you can say it now, you don't work there.
Oh, Equinox.
Yeah.
Y'all know, I talked about Equinox on my podcast. It was, stop doing that. We bush you up. Yeah.
No.
We gonna bush you up. So Equinox, the expensive gym that all the celebrities go to, I was over like 6 of those clubs. So coming out here exposed me to that, and exposed me to a job that I really don't like.
Yeah.
I do not like so maintenance and then facility manager, and then you just over the functionality of buildings.
Yeah.
You're on call all the time.
Yeah.
So coming out here helped me realize that because I got that job.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I really don't want to do that.
Which is interesting because I feel like that was probably a dream job in your mind in Atlanta.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But do you think you could have had that same opportunity? I'm sure you actually probably would have. Maybe not as quickly though, as you had working at Equinox in Atlanta. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think I would have eventually did that in
for
Atlanta.
sure.
It might have been different in Atlanta because I had a lot more resources in Atlanta. So a lot more friends. Hey man, come fix this or come do this as the facility manager.
Yeah.
Here I had to
Figure it
create
out.
new
Your network.
networks. So and then I know the landscape of Atlanta, how to get to places faster. Who I could finagle a lot more there, except for here. But coming here now, work boots are in the closet.
Yeah.
I ain't pulled them out. I ain't put them on. Learning editing, learning production, being a tour manager now.
Yeah. How do you like that?
Man, you wouldn't have. Ain't no in the world you tell me I was gonna be doing what I'm doing now 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Booking flights.
Yeah.
Nah, man. Setting up hotels, looking at contracts, closing out with vendors and venues. I like it.
Yeah.
And I like it because like Mel said, y'all did what y'all did. So now
Title the episode.
I'm walking in, as the tour manager, but I'm also Kev's brother-in-law.
Yeah.
So that's another chip I wear on my shoulder.
Yeah.
And I don't care. Yeah. I love it. People talk to me sideways. I'm like, oh, you don't even know who I'm related to. But no, it's cool. It's a whole nother stream of income and skills that I'm learning that I did not know I would ever even. I didn't know I would be in this space at all.
And it's kind of interesting because I think I agree that I don't think I don't know if Mel ever could have probably saw you in this space either.
No.
But Greg, you're good at it.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I can take
good.
that. Yeah,
I think you should.
Yeah.
Greg be on it. Like people, I tell Kevin this all the time that, cause I just know how you grew up and I'm like, Greg has to understand. So everybody understands. A tour manager is essentially advancing the shows. And what that means is having constant communication with all the vendors. You guys have seen Kev's tour schedule. Greg talks to all of them. Every line that you see, a city and a date, somebody's behind that.
Yeah.
Greg interfaces with them.
Mm-hmm.
He's making sure the merch gets there. He's asking about, do you have, especially they did something with Spectrum. Do you have screens? Do you have this? We're doing the international stuff. Greg is sending passports, IDs, blood samples, hair samples. It'd be a lot. I'll be like, like it'd be low-key, it'd be a lot. And Greg is doing all of that. It's like an organization, a skill, a brain thing. We were just talking actually to our, listen, we hired our assistant. I've decided yesterday. I was like, someone we know, she doesn't have an assistant. She calls it a chief of staff. And the assistant was like, girl, I'm y'all chief of staff. Hello? And I said, don't do me. I'll never say assistant again. I will forever now say chief of staff. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So my chief of staff.
Amen.
We were telling her about, the upcoming tour dates and what she should do, yada, yada. She was like, do you guys need me to do anything for Europe? And I was like, actually, no. Let Greg do that because it becomes too many hands in the pot. That's how stuff gets messed up. That's how stuff gets confused. Greg usually handles it. Let him handle it. But all the guys travel and they be picky and this person can't fly here and this person can't fly on this airline. Literally. It'd be a lot. And Greg keeps all of that together and I think you do a phenomenal job.
Thank
I'm not
you
even
so
gonna lie
much.
to you.
Appreciate you.
Well, I know we took a detour on that, so I'm gonna come back to the marriage stuff. But I'm sure people are also interested in it.
Yeah.
You got something else you want to say?
Not other than I appreciate coming here and experiencing this. And learning because I wouldn't have done nothing like this.
Right.
In Atlanta.
Do you enjoy it?
I do. Because I'm in control. I'm not setting anything in anybody else's hands.
Yeah.
I'm setting the schedule. I'm getting it done. Everything is. It's not cookie cutter, but it's.
It is like it is, but it ain't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like it. And it's teaching me better communicating skills.
Yeah.
Because beforehand it was, hey, this is broken. All right, I'll fix it.
Yeah.
Bye. Or I ain't got to deal with nobody.
Right.
Now I'm learning how to communicate better.
Yeah. Sending emails.
Yeah.
And Greg be finding stuff that we don't. I'm gonna tell you just one story and then I'm gonna move on. The venue. A lot of times, what happens with the venues is they pay Kev, right, and then we pay our agents. 2 or 3 venues took the money out from Kev's check and they were going to pay the agent directly, which is fine. They can totally do that. But what happened was the agent turned around and billed us. Had Greg not said something, I wouldn't have known because I'm the one who pays the agent. So they sent it in. I said, oh, no. Greg, would you tell me the city's word? Tell me again so I can make sure that what I'm thinking is what I'm thinking. He said, this city, this city, this city. I said, bet. Excuse me, this city, this city, this city. Take it off my invoice. You go to them.
Yes.
But then it turned out they didn't pay us all the money. So he had to come back and say, you guys are going to be received. don't know if I ever received that check.
Oh man, see, there we go.
I don't know if I ever received that check. Hold on, I'm just emailing myself real quick to check on that check. Check on check from agent. Okay. So anyway, we wouldn't have known that had Greg not do that. So it's always like, a lot of times I think, especially for me, I don't know if Mel experiences, if I don't see direct, like a direct measurable result of something I do, I label it useless.
Yes.
I had this revelation in my life coaching session that a lot of times, especially in social media, the reason I struggle is because it's not measurable.
Yeah.
And beyond the numbers. So, for example, I have a number that I set for us to reach on Gin and Juice, but I then have to tie that to, I have to anchor that to something else, because just obtaining a number for the sake of a number means nothing to me personally. And I feel like a lot of social media is that, like, it's a lot of building and for what you may not know yet. But if I'm not able to tie it to something, I feel like, why am I doing this?
Tying the number to something.
Or anything. Tying the actions I do, the podcast, the posting on social media, the like, why? For why,
right?
You know, and so I think for Greg, I think when that whole thing situated, Greg was like, I was just doing that. I didn't even realize there would have a consequence, but there was. Like all of that checks and balances because someone is not checking the checker. So if you're not doing it, and I'm not privy to. I mean, I am privy to the contracts. I don't read the contracts. And when we receive a check, Kev don't know. He just got a check.
Yeah.
And so when Greg is like, this is supposed to be this. Well, then you become the last line of defense. You then become the last line of defense. Okay, moving on. You came to the city that we're in right now, LA. I want to say Atlanta, and then we have to wrap up in like 15 minutes. And you guys have McKinley. But before McKinley, I don't know that people know this story that you guys have experienced a miscarriage. So I wanted to kind of share that story in as much detail or information, emotions, all of that as you can, because I really don't think you guys have shared this on any other platform.
No, we haven't. So about a year after we were married, we found out we were pregnant, and we were all excited and went to the doctor's appointment, made an appointment, and got, I feel like I don't remember if we heard the heartbeat. I don't know. I can't remember if we heard it or not, how early we were, but we had already scheduled out the second appointment. I had told you guys that we were pregnant. And then one Monday, this was it was probably a week after our first wedding anniversary. And I went to work and was morning work life at Cartoon Network and felt like I needed to go to the restroom. And when I did, I saw blood. And so I was like, oh, this can't be right. And so I called Greg, and then I felt like I called you guys, or I called y'all at least in the car, and went to the ER, and then we got admitted basically, and they were like, you are having a miscarriage. So I was in there all night. It took so long. But basically I guess to like let the miscarriage like complete itself or follow through or whatever the proper terms are. And then we were sent home. And so I remember being sad, obviously, and not really knowing, like, I don't really know. I think a couple things happened. I was surprised at how quickly I had felt attached to the idea of having a baby. So that was really surprising because it was still so, I mean, I think I was 8 or 9 weeks. So I was surprised at that. And then also surprised, like I didn't really know or have many conversations with people who had miscarriages. Right. So I didn't even know what the feeling or like was supposed to be, or I didn't know how I felt. Like I just was like, this is such a new experience. But I also know I feel really sad. So I remember sitting like in the bed for like a week. I was like, I feel like I'm gonna be sad for like a week, and I deserve that. I also feel like I probably read that somewhere. Like, you should give yourself time. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna do nothing all week. So I told my job I wasn't coming in. I just said like medical emergency or whatever, and just sat in the bed for. It was literally that happened on a Monday, and I remember doing it until like Thursday or Friday, just doing nothing. And then I was like, okay, that happened.
And that was it.
And that was it. For me, that was it. I was like, I'm done here. Like, that's happened.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's so interesting. How long after the miscarriage was Kenny?
So that was September of 15. And then we found out we were pregnant with McKinley. It
might have been 2 months later after that.
Yeah, actually, it was December. 3 months.
So, yeah.
3 months
I
later.
wonder if being able to get pregnant that quickly. Jaleel White is there. Okay, let me close this. It's so random. I want him to stop sending me things because it's distracting me. I wonder if turning around and getting pregnant so quickly allowed that to be a very like isolated event versus if you struggled. I mean, I know obviously, well, if we want to go there, we can. But being able to conceive quickly thereafter, and obviously McKinley's here, it was a successful pregnancy, also allowed that to not come up again. Or does it come up again?
I'm always scared about, or I was with McKinley, I was very, very scared with each milestone, making sure that we reached it, especially because you guys never experienced it. So I was like, is something wrong? Like, it feels like such a betrayal of your body. Like, oh, so your body's supposed to do this, but mine can't, or mine didn't. So the fear is, can it?
Yeah,
right.
Right.
And so with McKinley, I felt very nervous about, is this going to be successful? Eventually, I got the home monitor so that I could listen to her heartbeat at home. And put the thing, and they would be like, don't do it all the time. And I would be like, I'm doing it every single day that I want to do it. And Greg would be like, stop, you can't do it that much. And I would be like, I'm going to do it. And then he would ask, did you do it? Did you hear it? But so, yeah, it just made it felt it just made me very scared for McKinley's, the pregnancy I had with McKinley. And then even with Micaiah, 5 years later, I was still very, and for other reasons, but it was just very like, is this pregnancy gonna last? Is it am I gonna have
viable?
Viable is the word.
Yeah.
The miscarriage didn't affect me until we had McKinley, and then I started thinking about, dang, I wonder how the first baby, whatever, who that person was. So that's when it really affected me. When we had the miscarriage, though, it's kind of crazy that you don't ever have these conversations before this happens.
Yeah.
And all your friends that done had kids, your parents, everybody, no one has said, hey, if this happens, I'm not saying a miscarriage is normal, but
it's
a
common.
lot of people
it's very
have
common.
It's crazy how many miscarriages.
It's very common.
There is. So it's wild that no one prepared us for that. But as we had children, I think, dang, we lost the first.
Yeah.
That could have been my boy.
Yeah.
And I ain't having no more because I got this for second. But yeah, that's how I felt about it. But when she came home and told me, when she came from work, and she was bleeding or whatever, we did a hug and
You met me at the hospital.
No.
He said afterward.
Oh.
No, he didn't say afterward.
We got some, that's when you told me you were pregnant. I was at the table. You came home and you had that thing in the bag. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Okay, so then I wonder if, so is it something you think about today? Not much.
No, I don't think about it.
I don't either.
When somebody mentions it, that's when I start, I wonder who what that person would have been. But other than that, no, I don't think about it. Also, to your point, we got pregnant pretty fast afterwards.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah. The other thing I wonder is, I know we said no one talks about it. I remember this girl, this lady that we went to church with in Washington State that continually, you know what I'm talking about, had miscarriages. And I don't think I really registered at the time, like how common it was. But in addition, we were so young. Obviously, I didn't have kids at the time. How heartbreaking it is to have it continuously.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, if that would have happened to us,
I can't even imagine.
that's terrible. I mean, yes, it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking.
That's a
It
terrible
really is.
feeling.
Yeah.
And for somebody like myself, like I said, whenever she's feeling some type of way, it affects me.
Right.
To know I can't do nothing.
Yeah.
I can't take it away from
Yeah.
her or nothing like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have tore me up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if is there any advice you would give anyone or anything you would say to someone going through something like this?
I would tell them and before they even try to get pregnant, I would tell them to look it up and see how common it is and to understand that there's nothing wrong with you.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody that continuously goes through it, that I couldn't speak on because
Right.
we haven't experienced that.
Right.
But there's other avenues. What is it called? In vitro?
In vitro?
In vitro, that process, having the doctor go
Yeah.
in and put the egg and the sperm together. But my main thing would be looking up miscarriages and seeing how common it is so you won't feel like something's wrong with you.
Yeah.
That would be my advice.
Yeah.
I would say if you are going through it to be sad as long as you want to.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like giving myself time to be like, to really mourn this idea that I had and that I had grown so attached to. Doing that, just give yourself some time to sit in that feeling, and then, make your decision after that. For some people, it is so heartbreaking that you don't know maybe if you want to go put yourself through that again, because of the chance that it could happen again, or maybe you can't wait to try again because you want to kind of fill that void. So I don't know. I would give yourself time to process what happened and go from there.
Yeah, I agree. I think it definitely is something heartbreaking. I love both of your advice. I think it is so common, but we don't talk about it. So if it does happen to you, you do feel like your body betrayed you. You feel like, what is wrong with me? I can't believe this, especially as a woman. That's a burden you're going to bear a lot. And if it does happen, take all the time you need to kind of like recover, and make sure you get like the medical like evaluation or whatever for the doctors to tell you, like, this is very common. There's nothing, or this is what it is, and these are the interventions we can take to, like, I don't want to say eliminate, but like lessen the possibility of something like this happening again.
I will quickly say, just to that point, after when we were trying to get pregnant with Micaiah and weren't having success at first, we went to the doctor, and getting all of that information about your body and even just learning how it works, like, you have the general idea of how to make a child, but understanding from the anatomy, like what the process is, and then going through like an entire cycle of that, where the doctors are, okay, you are producing this many follicles, and this is how big they're growing, and this is how big they're supposed to be, and yours are reaching that or yours are not, and from this cycle, and you started with 8 and now you have 3 that could turn into a pregnancy. Like, understanding all of that information was just, it felt even more empowering, versus like leaving it up to chance, which, a lot of people who are blessed enough to just get pregnant and have a baby, that's amazing, and you don't really have to think about that. But when you are trying, or maybe you're encountering miscarriages, empowering yourself by getting that knowledge from a doctor feels like you're leaving it less to chance, and like and you still don't have all that much control, but you have a little bit more control, and you can make like more informed decisions, and like, you can kind of time things differently when you understand the mechanics and the science behind it. So anyway, I don't remember why I added that, but I
No,
wanted
it was
to.
good. Good. All right. Before we close out, what piece of advice would you give your younger self, your younger married self? I'm not going to answer.
Okay.
My phone is just going off.
Here it is. Oh, go ahead. Your younger married
Your
self?
younger married self specifically.
Go ahead. You can go first.
I would tell my younger married self to continuously well, I would tell my younger married self to be open-minded and to always try to level yourself up when it comes to education about anything. I found myself getting comfortable in educational wise. I think I found myself getting lazy, to be honest. Once you finish school and finish college and you don't work a few years, you like, man, I ain't got to learn nothing else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Always learn, always keep trying to learn, because that's going to help. To me, that will help you and your significant other have things to talk about, have things to do. It'll keep things on the up and up,
Right.
Instead of just being stagnant. I learned this today. Did you know this? Did you know that? Hey, if we open this life insurance policy, this, that, it'll just keep things on the up and up, because things will get stale and boring if you stay stale and boring.
Yeah. That's good. Mel?
Are you gonna ask is marriage hard still or no?
No.
Okay. I would say I would tell my younger married self that marriage is hard and having kids makes it harder with the hard R or ER. And so to know that I waiting 5 years or having 5 years between McKinley and Micaiah makes it really clear how challenging little children are to your life. We had gotten to a point with McKinley where she could do things by herself.
Yes.
And rewinding that time and having a terrorist.
Y'all should see Micaiah back here. She literally just hit herself in the face trying to put this, what is this called? Fanny pack on.
She has also put goldfish all over the floor.
Oh, yeah. I took footage. I'm going to insert
need a
them.
vacuum cleaner. If McKinley was here, she wouldn't be doing that right now.
Yeah.
And that is challenginger than everything. And so I would just tell myself, I would prepare myself early on that marriage is hard by itself because it's two people that are like coming together and compromising, and you're navigating life and trying to understand how are we going to do this thing. And having children, adding that on is makes it even more difficult, and then it gets better once they're older and they're not putting goldfish all over the floor. And so just like it's kind of like buckle in, strap in, get your seatbelt on and go along for the ride, because then the fun part happens again after you get through this part.
Yeah.
Amen.
And then you'll have her say,
Amen.
I grabbed this paper. It was my boys. It was my guys. It was my man's is actually what she's going to say. Wait till they say that. I grabbed my man's paper. Y'all going to be like, all right.
She not. Don't say that. You're not having no man's around here.
Exactly. That's the equivalent. Because guys don't say my woman's.
No.
They be like, that's my
girl.
girl's. Relax.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much for joining us on today's Marriage to Be Hard episode. If you don't mind sharing to the people where they can find you both on the social media.
You can find me at GOOLZBY. That's Goolsby on Instagram, Building with Goose on YouTube. You can also buy our merch here. Let me get this out your way so you can really see what's happening. Yeah. Underrepthemerch.com. Copy one.
You can find me on the Gin and Juice podcast with a woman that I host by the name of MrsKevOnStage. Amen. You can find me there. You can also find me on Instagram at You've Got Mail. YOUVEGT. There's no O in got, MEL. That's my YouTube and my Instagram. Or
Yes.
you can find me on the TikToks at I'm Not a Lawyer But.
Yes, that is her. If you're looking at this and you're wondering, that looks like I'm not a lawyer, but because as Melanie is finding success on TikTok by way of herself, people have to reverse engineer who she is to us. So normally it's, you start with Kev, you find me, you find Mel.
Yes.
But people are finding Mel on her own, which is freaking fantastic. But
And
yes, if you're looking
They leave
here.
the comment.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, are you from Gin and Juice?
Yes.
Is this Melissa's sister?
Correct.
Or they'll be like, oh my gosh, you know Kev on Stage. I'll be like, yes, girl, I do. That's so crazy.
For a long time. So if you reverse engineer it and you're here by way of that is Melanie is my sister. The lawyer that's not a lawyer
I'm
is
not
my
a
sister.
But you can find me. I'm Not a Lawyer But on the TikToks.
Very good. Very good.
Also, I forgot, I have my own podcast
Yes.
with Marcus
Yes.
You
Tanksley.
should do.
Let Us Tell It.
Uh-huh.
You can find us on YouTube and on all streaming platforms.
Very good. I told Greg recently that he needs to lean into his overprotectiveness
Yep.
as a father and as a husband. And I think there's a lane for you there. You know, it reminds me of, and then I got to really close out. It reminds me of when you did that sound.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about? I can't
It
remember
was
who it was. Was
the,
it
That little
with
boy.
Lil
It was
Wayne?
Lil
Yeah,
Wayne.
He
Yeah.
wrote McKinley a letter.
I think if you
Lean in.
lean in and just find your groove in that pocket,
Mhm.
I think there are men who are very much aligned to this,
that.
or women who will say, "That's my husband,
Yes.
that's my daddy," or
Yes.
whatever.
What last thing is Underreported Podcast.
Yes.
That also is on my YouTube and on streaming platforms, True Crime Podcasts, where I tell stories of crimes committed against Black women and Black girls.
Yes,
Amen.
good time, binge it. All right, for real. Bye.
Bye.